everybody. Welcome to Nevada Real Estate Radio. I'm glad to be with you today. My name is Peter Padilla. We have an outstanding show for you today because we're talking not only about real estate and all of the great things that you can gain when you own real estate in Northern Nevada. We're talking about a very special event that's coming to us real soon. It's going to be happening in August. It's the 25th anniversary of the Reno Blues Society. There's a big event coming up. We're going to be talking about that. And Cheri Hill is going to join us too. Cheri is the wealth protection diva at Sage International, and she's going to talk about the benefits of incorporating and being incorporated the right way if you own real estate, a real estate investor. That's what you've got to think about, protecting your assets. We'll hear from Cheri later on the show. Also joining us is Scott Morris, and Scott is the owner of RCS IT Solutions. So computers are everywhere. They're in real estate, they're in advertising, everywhere. And if you have a bad connection, if you have a connection that maybe has an attachment to malware or any other kind of vicious attack, you could be in for some big problems down the road. Today we're going to talk with Scott about how to protect your assets when it comes to your digital world, your digital universe at your business. We have that, plus we're going to be talking about the latest stats from the Reno Sparks Association of Realtors and more after this.
Hi, I'm Chris from Truckee Meadows Pest Control.
I'm Cindy from Truckee Meadows Pest Control.
I'm Jody from Truckee Meadows Pest Control. Now is the time of year when insects, pests, and rodents are the most active and they want to get inside of your home.
Stop those critters and bugs from coming into your home.
Call us here at Truckee Meadows Pest Control, 332-0604.
Or visit tmpestcontrol.com.
TM Pest, we are licensed and insured in Nevada.
Truckee Meadows Pest Control.
Control is what it's all about.
Truckee Meadows Pest Control is locally owned and operated.
Extraction Jackson. Here's what people are saying about CJ's recommended carpet care.
My name is Kevin Karp. I've been a lawyer since 1979. Jack, he's a character, and he will tell you what needs to be done. And there's no question with CJ's that you're not going to get these fly-by-night places that'll do everything cheap. You won't get work that you'll have to redo a month later.
Residential, commercial, tile, grout, carpet, and upholstery cleaning. Call 829-1551 or visit cjscarpetcare.com.
You're tuned in to 1180 AM radio right here in Northern Nevada. Nevada Real Estate Radio is the name of our program. We're in our 13th year of every week broadcasting, interviewing lots of people, experts in their industries of real estate and real estate related workings so that they can help you make a better decision if you're looking to buy or sell real estate. Today we have a group of three great persons in the studio. First of all, Cheri Hill is with us. Cheri is the wealth protection diva. She's the owner of Sage International. She's kind of a celebrity herself. She has her own radio show. Cheri, welcome.
Thank you. Always good to be here.
Are you ready for your show? It's coming up in about an hour.
I am. I've got a great guest and looking forward to some solid interviews.
You bet. Well, we're going to be talking about the world of incorporation and the world of running businesses with you later on the show. But let's talk about our other guests in the studio. Scott Morris is with us, and Scott is the owner of RCS IT Solutions. How you doing, Scott?
I'm great, Peter. How are you? I'm
doing pretty good. Thank you very much.
Good.
You're working in the air, in the cloud. You're working in people's computer rooms and server rooms all the time. You've got one of those businesses where you're in the background, and the problems really are apparent when you're in the foreground, right? So it's like,
sometimes.
Yep.
It's a little bit of both. Sometimes they're apparent to the user, and sometimes they're apparent to me and not the user. So it just depends on the situation.
Well, because business is so critical for all of the work we do here, and connections, communications, all the more. We have you on the show today to talk to us about how to keep that flow of information going, how to have secure storage for all of your valuable data. Glad you're with us today.
Thank you, Peter.
Also with us in the studio, Roger Slugg. And Roger is joining us to talk about the Reno Blues Society. Roger, welcome to our radio show.
Thank you, Peter. Nice to be here.
It's nice to have you here. I was asking you when we met a little while ago if you were a native, a longtime resident of Northern Nevada. Let our listeners know.
Yes. Well, I came here in 1981, right out of pharmacy school in New Mexico. Mm-hmm. And I went to work for the VA and then to the state of Nevada, where I retired in 2006. So I've been here since 81.
Oh, very nice. You retired and you still stayed in Reno. There must be something that's keeping you here.
Well, yeah, they're casinos.
Well, you know, there's a lot of nice things in Northern Nevada besides casinos. But, you know, you're right. The casino action in Northern Nevada is kind of different, you know, than it is in Vegas. And that's one of the things I like about Northern Nevada. There are still some opportunities to play like single deck poker or single deck blackjack rather. And some communities like Reno have very low stakes to get in. It's more fun than a business for a lot of us, but there's still a lot of action going on out there.
And a lot of friendly employees. Reno is well known for its friendliness in the casinos, as opposed to other places that have casinos.
And here they really do market to the locals. They want the local people to continue to go and have fun. And it's not just about gambling, you know. It's the great restaurants that we have because we have all these casinos. A lot of entertainment comes to town, and events. Man, we get some great events here in Northern Nevada. I'm a big fan of hot August nights. I have an old car that I'm going to try to get running for this year. But that's coming in a little further down the road. Just before that, there's a bigger event even coming up that I'm talking about, and that's the Reno Blues Society. Let our listeners know what's going on.
Well, this is the 25th anniversary of the Reno Blues Society. We formed in 1993, and strangely enough, the big name entertainment that year for us was a fellow by the name of Roy Rogers, one of the greatest slide guitarists in the world. Roy has agreed to come back as our big name entertainment for this 25th anniversary party, and he's even bigger and better than ever, and he's agreed to come back and play for us this summer.
Wow, that's awesome. I was looking at some of the stuff I could find on the website about him and all, and it's just amazing that after this many years, he's still knocking it out of the park.
Well, he was a young guy. In fact, I'm teaching a class at OLLI, the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute in the Blues, and I showed a video the other day to the class that was John Lee Hooker accompanied by a young Roy Rogers.
Wow.
And they were just fantastic together.
The blues music, a lot of people maybe don't even know what blues music is. They might like the blues music and not know about it. Why don't you give our listeners and our viewers a little background on where the music comes from?
Well, actually where it started was with the African Americans who unfortunately came to this country under the auspices of slavery and were working in the fields and were trying to keep time. So there was an overlord who would have a call and response to keep time to things. So they would call out and then the gang would call back, and that's kind of the rhythm of the African drums or the African singers. That's where it started, was with slaves. Went on to sharecroppers, which was an even worse system for folks. But that's where the blues started, from African American singers.
And because it was started so long ago, we're probably talking, close to 200 years ago or something like that, it's influenced a lot of other genres and a lot of other musicians as well, I'm sure.
As the greatest writer of blues songs, Willie Dixon, said, blues is the roots and everything else is the fruits. Because the blues started it and then everything else came after that.
Wow. Cheri Hill is with us, and Cheri is a big fan of music in general, but I know you love the blues, Cheri.
Absolutely. I have been to Memphis twice to participate in the big contest that the Reno Blues Society sends a band every year to participate, and so I've sat in the B.B. King bar and theater and enjoyed a lot of that. And you mentioned John Lee Hooker. I saw him many years ago when I lived in Cotati, and probably Roy Rogers was in his background group at that time. So, yeah, I have a long-standing relationship with the blues, and just what I absolutely love is live music. And so when you put live music with rhythm where you can dance and dance until you drop, count me in.
Fantastic. I know you love to dance. I absolutely do. The blues music is, it's everywhere. I hear blues music in rock and roll because that's really what I love of all the music more than anything else. And I hear it in some of the very early recordings of some really famous musicians from the 60s, the 70s. Elvis Presley, I hear a lot of blues there. Do you think Elvis was influenced by the blues?
Well, you know, Elvis came along, and because he was a white man who sounded like a black man, that's why he was chosen to be the chosen one to be promoted as he was. And yes, he definitely started by singing black songs. Yeah. And he could make it sound like it was his, as any great singer can do. You own that song, and Elvis could do that.
It was really, when I think of the blues with Elvis, I think of "You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog." That's pretty blues-like.
Yeah.
You know.
And of course, that's a big Mama Thornton song.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, she sang that originally, but then Elvis took it and it just went to the moon.
Somehow he had a way of doing that, you know, just spicing it up just enough. Scott Morris is with us too. Scott, you're over there just looking at us like, what are these guys talking about, right? Is there any blues in your life as far as music goes?
Likely. Yeah, I like a lot of the old classic rock, so, you know, pretty much everything seems to stem from some sort of blues. I mean, it's such an old genre that, you know, I'm sure everything that I listen to seems to stem from that.
You know, I know you're in the digital age, and so much of the music nowadays comes from digital sources, and it's synthesized and it's digitized. And one of the things I like about the blues, really, quite frankly, is you can see a guy playing an acoustic guitar singing the blues, and he's not hooked up to anything. You know, he could be playing it now like he was playing it in the 50s. So it really is a great, to me, it's really a great talent, a great way of connecting the human brain with the hands and with an instrument, make it all happen as it is one. I love vinyl, so a lot of my music collection is on vinyl. I like the sound of analog music. You brought a few vinyl selections for us to look at today.
I
Roger.
did. I just grabbed a couple off the shelf and brought them down.
Let's take a look at what you got.
And okay, right on top here is a Blacktop Blues-a-rama. And Blacktop was one of the big labels back when. And this is actually featuring a guy who's still around. He played up at the lake last year. Anson Funderburg was up at Tuesday Blues Day at Squaw Valley, and he's still doing it.
Oh,
so
very nice. Very nice. Let me see this.
And oh goodness, next here we have.
What do we have there?
We have a very sexy lady, Lou Ann Barton. She sings Texas blues, and you fall in love as soon as she starts singing, because she is just hot stuff.
Wow, very nice. I got to check that one out.
Sings with Jimmy Vaughn, Stevie Ray's brother.
Yep.
And Tampa Red, one of the original guitar wizards. A lot of guys learned how to play guitar listening to Tampa Red. And Tampa also had some spicy lyrics, so he was a fun guy.
I've been working for 50 years to learn how to play guitar. I'm going to try this.
There you go.
This
Hubert Sumlin, one of Howlin' Wolf's great guitarists that backed up Howlin' Wolf. This is Heart and Soul, where he plays with James Cotton, great harmonica player, and Little Mike and the Tornadoes. And Hubert, a fantastic guitarist. He taught a lot of guys how to play finger picking on the guitar rather than with a pick.
Yeah.
So he was a great guitarist.
I'm going to have to check this one out for sure.
Another great guitarist, Big Bill Brunzi. They were looking for a guy to go to New York City and play at, oh gosh, I forget the hall now, but
Radio? City Music Hall?
No, even bigger than that. This is back in '38. They went looking for Robert Johnson. They wanted Robert Johnson, the godfather of the blues, to play. And Robert Johnson had just been poisoned in one of the great stories of the blues. Robert Johnson was a womanizer. He looked at the wrong woman. He looked at the bartender's wife, and the bartender slipped him a little something extra in his drink, and Robert was gone. Oh, so Big Bill sad story, but Big Bill Brunzi took his place and went on to great fame. Big Bill Brunzi, a great guitarist, songwriter, and singer.
I hope Bill found a different bar. That's what I.
Yeah, well, he was a little more circumspect, I'm sure. Bessie Smith, the original Empress of the Blues, she, another great story about Bessie. The myth was that she did die in an automobile accident, but the myth was that she would have lived if they had taken her to a hospital right away, to the White Hospital. But she really was pretty much gone at the scene, but they wouldn't take her to the White Hospital, because that's the way things were.
What a tragedy it was in those days.
And she was the Empress of the Blues. She really could be. Women were the champions of the blues in the 20s, the only decade that women were at the top.
We're talking with Roger Slugg. Roger is with the Reno Blues Society. We're talking about the big event coming up on the first week of August. August the 4th is when it's happening. That's the 25th anniversary Reno Blues Society Dance Party. It's going to be fantastic. We're all talking about it, getting excited. The big name is going to be there. It's Roy Rogers. We're going to talk about that, continue our conversation with Cheri Hill and Scott Morris on Nevada Real Estate Radio after this.
Now is the time of year when insects, pests, and rodents are the most active, and they want to get inside of your home.
Call Truckee Meadows Pest Control, 332-0604. Control is what it's all about.
Holy smokes, that sun's hot and bright. Honey, we better call SunTech.
Reduce your energy bill by 30% or more. Call today for a free estimate and ask about our no-interest financing.
Extraction Jackson. Here's what people are saying about CJ's recommended carpet care.
My name is Kevin Karp. I've been a lawyer since 1979. Jack, he's a character, and he will tell you what needs to be done. And there's no question with CJ's that you're not going to get these fly-by-night places that'll do everything cheap. You won't get work that you'll have to redo a month later.
Residential, commercial, tile, grout, carpet, and upholstery cleaning. Call 829-1551 or visit cjscarpetcare.com.
We're back on Nevada Real Estate Radio. My name is Peter Padilla. I'm feeling pretty good today, except for I got a little problem. I got ants in the backyard, but I know what to do this year. I'm not going out there with a bunch of decon, a bunch of raid, a bunch of sprays to poison. No. I'm going to call the good folks at Truckee Meadows Pest Control. It's all because of that last word in their name, control. Here's what they do. They don't really go out to eliminate all of the creatures that live around my house. That's not what I want. I just don't want them coming in my house. So they're going to go out there and they're going to monitor the right areas and apply the right materials and recommend the right changes that I make, perhaps in the way that I keep my things around my yard so that I don't get the ants. I think I'm inviting them in right now is the problem, but I don't know that. They're going to come out and tell me. The good folks at Truckee Meadows Pest Control are fantastic because they also take care of the environment. I'm a beekeeper. They don't go after the bees. They take care of the bees. They love the bees like I do, and they take care of nature. That's the way that they control the pest situations around many homes in northern Nevada. If you have pest issues that you'd like to talk with them about, call Truckee Meadows Pest Control in Reno, 332-0604, or visit them at tmpestcontrol.com. Tell them Peter sent you. With me in the studio today, I've got three guests. Scott Morris is with us, and Scott is the owner of RCS IT Solutions. Also, Cheri Hill. Cheri is with Sage International. She's the wealth protection diva. She talks to a lot of real estate investors. And then also today, Roger Slugg. Roger's here talking with us about the Reno Blues Society. Roger, did you ever think you would talk about blues music on a real estate show?
No.
I don't think you did either, because you know what? For a long time, I didn't either. But then I remember the mortgage meltdown of 2006, 7, and 8. Now that's the blues, Roger.
That's some blues right there. You got that right.
You know, in that time, home prices were less than half of what they are today. We were looking at the latest statistics from the Reno Sparks Association of Realtors, and you know the numbers are really amazing. They're staggering is what they are. Median home price in northern Nevada, Reno specifically, $386,000. I mean, why don't they just say 400,000, right? It's that close. In fact, it was that close last month. It's kind of bopping up around the top. But that is a ton load of money. Roger, what do you think the median home prices were when you moved over to here to northern Nevada? 1981.
I would say probably 70.
$70,000. Yeah. Wow. You can't. Some vehicles are selling for that much money now. So real estate is a pretty good investment. If you can write it out, right? If you can keep it for the long term. And it's amazing. I don't know about you, Roger, but every year seems to go faster and faster for me. Every year, every month, it's busier and busier for me. It's a lot of things you've just got to get on it right now if you want to make it happen. You got to start thinking about today being more about the future than about just right now. Cheri Hill, you work with a lot of real estate investors. What do you tell people that want to buy real estate investment property when the prices are at this level?
I say look elsewhere.
Look elsewhere.
Yeah. As a real estate investor, you're not limited to your own backyard. So I work with a lot of people that really understand the availability of good investments around the country. Mm-hmm. And of course, they see that there are smatterings of good investments in other states, other communities. And that's cool because, you know, we form their LLCs. We do all 50 states. So I don't care where you invest. If it makes sense and it's going to give you positive cash flow, then don't limit yourself.
Yeah. A good friend of mine, I won't tell you what his real name is. Let's call him Zach. Okay. So Zach just recently moved to Arkansas and he bought himself a house. Told me the other day. Kind of like a median home like you'd see in northern Nevada. It'd be kind of like one of those homes in Arkansas. But our median home price here is $386,000. Guess what he paid for it in Arkansas?
78.
Well, you're back in 1981 in Reno, is what you are, Roger. But that's a pretty good guess because he paid $101,000.
Wow.
I mean, he is so happy. I mean, the guy feels like he feels like he's in a whole different income category in Arkansas than he was here because, let's face it, it's not easy to live in northern Nevada. It's expensive when you look at housing. And don't get me started about gasoline. I mean, gas is up there, which is one of the reasons that I recommend people look at places like Fernley. You get a lower home price and you get lower costs on gasoline. I mean, it's huge. It's more than $100,000 difference, not in the price of gas, but in the price of a home. And in the price of gas, it's substantial, 20 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents. It's a good place to look. I love Fernley, and if they ever throw me out of Reno, I know where I'm going to run to, Fernley, Nevada. Scott Morris, you're here for one very important reason, not to talk so much about Fernley, but to talk about IT security. Talk to our listeners and our guests in the studio about what RCS IT Solutions does.
Yeah, we really specialize in helping businesses that are frustrated with the costly downtime that comes from computer issues. That's really what we do. We do a lot of proactive work. We spend a lot of time looking for the signs of failures before they happen. I really have what I call 3 pillars that really kind of run the whole business. One is on the front end. You want to make sure you have a really good antivirus product that will stop things from coming in. In the middle, you've got all the Windows updates and all the management and all the proactive monitoring that we do that just adds one more layer to preempt failure. And then you always have to have that third pillar, and that's the backup and the backup and recovery plan. Having a backup, a solid backup, and having a plan for when things go wrong. That's a big piece that a lot of businesses fail on, is they say, oh yeah, I back my stuff up to an external hard drive, I'm good. Well, first of all, that doesn't really constitute as a true backup. I could speak for hours on that. But what is the plan? Okay, what happens now that everything has fallen apart? What do you do? That's the big piece that I bring to the table, is I've got a complete backup and disaster recovery plan. And that encompasses the backup itself and what happens if. And we go through all the different scenarios that can happen to a business, from, oh shoot, I deleted a file. Oh, something is corrupt. Through a ransomware attack, just encrypts all of the data on the entire hard drive. What do we do? And then all the way through the imminent failure of a server completely crashes, or the building burns down, a flood, a theft, vandalism, any number of fully catastrophic events. So we run through that entire plan of, from A to Z, what do we do? So it's all known, and if something happens, you just get on the ground and start running.
You know, the disaster recovery business is something we talk about in real estate, because there are a number of companies in town that are available if there's a fire or a flood, and they get in there right away and they're cleaning that place up so that they can get back into business.
That's right.
But in most cases, those same businesses, they really didn't have, as far as I know, a way to prevent the flood, right? I mean, they could have had more sandbags out back or more fire extinguishers. But for the most part, those things kind of happen on a random basis. The computer problems people are having nowadays, it's almost like every day.
Yeah.
Right? Every day you're hearing about something like that. So the advantage on the digital side is that you can get some protection ahead of time.
That's right.
For when those things might happen.
That's right. You can have the protection on the front end, and then if something falls apart, like a building burns down, like you said, you've got restoration companies that come in and they do the smoke repair and the water damage repair and all that. Well, what about the digital side? Now you've got your building put back together and you can occupy your business again, but what about the digital piece? You need to have just as robust of a plan on the business, on the data side, to make it so you can actually do business. You're sitting in a big office with all your fancy new furniture that you bought. Well, what about all your computers and the data and everything that actually runs the business? That's what I bring to the table.
When I first got into the corporate world in the broadcast business in Arizona, we used to have somebody assigned to take home tapes every night and cycle them back and forth. Roger, I don't know if you remember that world, but in order to back up your whole business, somebody had to have a tape in their pocket when they left, so that if the building burned down, they'd have the tape to restore. I'm sure nobody's using those tapes now, but how is it done now?
There are a few, you'd be amazed, but I push as many away as I can. So the problem with tapes is, one, you have a lot of potential for human error there. Somebody can forget to take the tape home. Somebody can lose the tape. Somebody can damage the tape.
Take the wrong tape.
Take the wrong tape. Forget to back the tape up and take an empty tape home. That's a complex sentence. So there's the human factor there. The other piece is, when you do tape backups, generally you're going to do them right at the end of the day. what if something happens in the middle of the day there? You're going to lose an entire day of work, in the best case scenario that you have the tape from the previous day. So my backups, the longest interval I usually run my backups on is an hour. I'm trying to get that down closer to 15 minutes or half an hour. But that means you're never going to lose any more than an hour worth of work. So you could lose, 59 minutes and 59 seconds of data, but once that new hour hits, you'll have a nice fresh backup that you can fall back on.
Wow. Your digital storage and your digital operation is so critical now in any business. It's getting to the point, Scott, where it's almost like in any home.
That's right.
I mean, all these smart homes that I'm hearing about, look, I'm not into it personally. I still got a log cabin, right? I'm looking to get electricity one of these days. But you're working with people that the whole thing is connected.
Yep.
Is that growing, or is there just kind of a niche out there of people that like that stuff?
Oh, big time. If you think about everything in your house that's connected to the internet, it's getting more and more prevalent. You've got your Fire Sticks, Rokus, TVs, Blu-ray players, refrigerators, your thermostats. I mean, just about everything in your home these days. Even if you live in the Stone Age, it seems like you've got stuff that connects to the wireless.
Yeah, right. It's amazing. Well, I'm glad that you're with us today to talk about these things so that we can all be aware of how important it is to monitor our digital universe at our business. And if we don't have time, that's where you come in, Scott. Somebody wants to talk to you, maybe get an assessment. What's the best way?
RCS.com is my website, or you can give me a call at the office, 775-737-4400.
Outstanding. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thanks, Peter.
Cheri Hill has been with us in the studio today. Cheri, the benefits for investors, talking to you about incorporating their business. We've talked on the show many times, but the fact is they need to consult with you because really no two deals are probably going to be the same anyway.
Well, no two investors are the same ever. Who you're doing business with, where you're doing it, where you're investing, the type of investing. There's always have a lot of questions to ask to make sure that we're structuring you right, in the right state, taxed in the right way to take advantage of protecting those hard-earned assets you're trying to create.
Let our listeners know how to get a hold of you.
775-786-5515. Offer a free 30-minute consultation so that we can determine what makes the most sense for you.
Very good. We'll look forward to talking with you again soon, too. Roger Slugg has been with us as well. Roger is with the Reno Blues Society. Our big event's coming up in August. And Roger, we didn't have a chance to talk as much as I wanted to about the blues world, but I'm hoping you'll come back soon and keep us apprised and give us a little more education on the history of blues.
Be happy to. Love to talk. It's my favorite subject.
You bet. And I want our listeners to know that if you'd like to get tickets to attend the big event on August the 4th, the 25th anniversary of the Reno Blues Society Dance Party, go to the website, renobluessociety.org. All the information is there. Tell them Peter sent you, and we'll talk again next week. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.